Well, we will go ahead and get started then. So find yourself, and I'm just starting close to you, but I'll move my chair back here in a minute. So go ahead and sit nice and tall. Find yourself in your chair. And close your eyes and feel free to do palms up if you would like. So we're just going to connect with our breath, taking a moment of mindfulness to settle down from the stresses of the day, the stresses of the week. We could also add the month and the year to that. So just notice how you're feeling physically, mentally. And then begin to notice your breath, connecting with the breath in either the belly or the lower ribs or the nostrils, and just notice the movement of the air. And let your breath lengthen. See if you can make your exhale longer than your inhale. Slow it down. Make it more purposeful, more intentional. Maybe even pause at the end of the exhale for another moment. And then let your breath expand a bit more, letting it become more natural. Then bring your hands together at your heart. And release your hands and open your eyes. All right, I'm going to move my chair back now. So today we are going to use our long resistance bands. Okay, so you'll want to have that handy. Let's go ahead and scooch forward onto the edge of your chair. And just start with some chin drops up and down. And then take ear to shoulder, side to side, at your own speed. And hold chin onto, ear to one shoulder. Let's keep it there. And then do some turns, chin up and down. And then bring the head back up and switch sides. And chin turns. And bring the head back up. All right, let's take an inhale and reach the hands out. Lift your spine nice and tall. Big exhale, just release shoulders. And then inhale, send the thumbs back, lift the heart, and exhale, reach forward. And let's do that a few more times with your breath. Two more. And then release hands to the knees, and let's take one foot out and circles. Go the other way. Point and flex. And then some leg swings. Okay, now we're going to lift the leg up straight and hold it. So we're really engaging the quad. Sit really tall and then rotate your foot side to side. Okay, release. Let's do the other leg. Circles. Other way. Point and flex. And then lift the leg up really tall, get your spine tall, and rotate in and out.
You didn't do the swings on this leg.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Swings. It's always nice to have someone to remind me when I miss something. Okay, we are going to move to standing. And just make sure you have space in front of you and behind you. So we're going to take arms out to the side and tap opposite foot as you lift. Now, you don't necessarily have to reach. If your foot is too far away, then reach down by your shin or your calf. As long as you can keep your spine tall, if you find yourself having to lean over to reach your foot, then just don't reach your foot, reach your calf. Okay, now we're going to switch it up and go behind. So tap the foot behind, opposite hand to foot. And if you miss your foot, no big deal. We know it's back there. Okay, now we're going to do one of each, forward and back. So here we go. One of each forward and then one of each back. So forward, forward, back. This one might mess with your brain a little bit. Opposite arm to leg. Okay, last one. All right, good job. All right, we're going to try and mobilize upper spine a little bit more. So take hands up behind your head. So spine is really taut, and now take your right foot just a slight step forward. Okay, yep, so short split stance, and then make sure feet are straight, that toes aren't turning out. So we're going to do twist and dip. So we're twisting to the right. Okay, just a little twist, and now dip the right elbow. Lift back up, twist further. Dip the elbow. Lift back up and twist further. Okay, come back to the center and switch your feet. Okay, here we go. Twist. Dip the left elbow, lift up again and twist. Dip. Lift up again and twist. Come back to the center and release. Okay, so now we're going to take arms up, step right, reach left. So it's a big lean, step and lean. One more. Okay, go the other way. Last one. All right, release it down. Okay, good job. We are going to grab our band now. So I think I'm going to use this red one. I've got two weights here. So we're going to learn some techniques to use these long bands. We did the short band last week. So we're going to start with some squats. So you're going to take your feet and step about shoulder width apart on your band. Okay, and then flip your hands around and bring your hands up to your shoulders. So now we've got resistance. Okay, So you choose the depth of your squat. We're gonna push all 10 toes down into the ground. Okay, keep all 10 toes down and your heels down. Squat down to your desired width and then come back up. I guess that's depth, not width. Okay. So we're trying to keep our spine really vertical. We've practiced squats in the past. Let's try 4 or 5 more. Now really squeeze your glutes on the way up. Really squeeze them at the top. Last one, and squeeze and release down. Okay, we'll take our feet off. Now we're gonna bring the band up and hold it out in front of you. Now, if you go wider, it'll make it easier. If you bring your hands closer together, it'll make it harder. So you'll just have to adjust for your own strength. So you're gonna take arms out in front and take a slightly wide foot position in order to give you more stability. Soften the knees. Okay, we're gonna engage the core, so really tuck the tummy in and tuck the tailbone under, and then pull straight back. Okay, right to the top of your chest. If it's too easy, bring your hands closer together. If it's too hard, then you move them further apart. Well, we'll do 4 or 5 more. All right, now we're gonna make it even more fun. Bring your arms up. Okay, now that we're feeling our shoulders, now we're gonna pull down. Now, if that bothers your shoulders to have them back, then pull down in front of your chest. Okay, so you can decide if you want it behind your head or in front of your chest. Let's do 3 or 4 more. And 1. All right, okay, let's bring it down. We're gonna take one foot on the strap. So your foot's out in front of you, okay? And then hands are out in front, and we're gonna do a lateral arm raise. So arms come out to the side, okay? This might be a little harder than some of the other ones.
What happens if your arms can't go very high?
You just lift as high as you can.
Oh, okay.
Like if they're not getting very high, that is totally fine, because if we don't have different options for bands, then it might be too hard for some things and too easy for others. Yeah, so no worries if you can't get very high. Last one. Okay, good job, shake it out. Okay, now we're gonna try an overhead press. So on this one, you're gonna step on the band with the back foot. Okay, so we've got a split stance. The band is under the back foot. And then we bring our hands up to our shoulders like we did for the squat. Okay, and then you're pushing straight up. Now, if you could do more than, a way to know if it's the right resistance or not is if you can do more than 6, but not more than 15. Then you're probably at a good resistance. And depending on your resistance, you maybe have to do more than me or less than me. It really depends on how difficult your band is. So the goal is not to do how many I'm doing. The goal is to do how many you can do up to 15. Okay? So remember to keep your knees kind of soft here, but your core tight. Because if your core is strong, you have a lot more power that you can push up with. Okay, I'm gonna try like 2 more. If you've got it in you, then do 2 more as well. release it down. Okay, so we're gonna do 2 sets of a couple of these today and 1 set of a couple. We'll see how many we get. So next one I want us to do is, let's take the band under the opposite foot. So we're going into a diagonal split stance. So if it helps, start your feet wide at the top of your mat and then step the leg without the band back to the back of your mat. Okay, so diagonal split stance. We're gonna do a rotation, and the wider you get on this one, the better. So if you can get even wider and you feel comfortable with that, please do that. Okay, if it's too hard with both straps, then you will just drop one and use one, as long as it's not gonna shoot out from under your foot, okay? All right, so we're holding on with both hands to either one handle like this or both handles like this. Start with both handles, and if it's too hard, switch to one, okay? Get your core really tight, try and keep your arms straight and lift up over your shoulder, okay? It's a rotation. Your chin stays in line with your chest. So it's like an upward pull with the bottom arm. That's our main mover. But the power comes from your core. So keep your core really tight. 2 more on this side if you've got them. Last one. Okay, let's switch. Man, I might have to take my long sleeve off. I'm getting warm now. Okay, let's switch legs. Get your split stance. Keys, we always want to be safe, so make sure your strap is anchored. I do not want any bands slapping people in the face. So get your bottom hand in on the bottom, top hand in on the top, and then let's rotate. Let's try 3 or 4 more. 2 and 1. Okay. All right. So we're gonna do our squats again. Yeah, it's getting a little warm.
Which is good, because my house is cold. I don't want to turn on the heater yet, and so I'm layering today too. To warm my body up.
That's a good plan. I broke down and turned my heater on yesterday because I was worried about my power going out and then having no heat at all. So I turned it on just in case. Okay, so let's set up for our squat. So wide feet, hands by your shoulders, and then down and up. Squeeze your glutes on the way up. Inhale, exhale. Now, I just want you breathing, but if you can, inhale on the way down and exhale as you push up. So if you remember last week with the mini band, we did this around our knees, and that was to activate the glute medius. With the band like this, it just adds more resistance, like you're holding dumbbells. But still think about pushing your knees out. But not like out over the sides of your feet, just out enough to activate the glute medius. 2 more. Last one. Whew. Okay, good job. We're gonna do some bicep curls now. So to make it harder, you would do both feet on the band. Easier is 1 foot. So it just really depends on the difficulty of your band. I'm gonna go 2 feet, but close together. Okay, you can make it harder by going wider too. Easiest is gonna be 1 foot on, okay? All right, so soft knees, press all corners of your feet down, just keep arches lifted. Pull the core in, tall spine, and then we curl up and down. Okay, so we always want to set up our foundation really well first. If we don't have a strong foundation, then the rest of our movement is basically dysfunctional. Okay, so if something doesn't feel right, or you're not feeling very stable or secure, go back to your foundation, which is your feet and your core. Your glutes too. Like if you engage your glutes, it helps stabilize your core too. Okay, like 3 or 4 more. 2 and 1. Okay, good job. Let's do triceps, and we're gonna do a row. So for triceps, I like to hold on one side on the outside, the other foot back. Okay, so it's a split stance, and then you flip your arm around so your elbow points forward and up. Okay, and then if it's too hard, then you would just add more length on the back. Okay, so keep your elbow pointing at me, okay, and straighten your arm. And actually, elbow pointing up is better than pointing straight at me. Tricep exercises are one of those that you might not necessarily feel like it's very challenging during, but then you might be sore the next day. Kind of crazy. 3 or 4 more. 2, 1. Okay, let's switch sides. So that split stance, adjust the length. Okay, hand up by your shoulder and then take the elbow, point it up at the sky. And here we go. Ooh, either this side is harder and my band is shorter, or I'm just weaker. Not sure which it is. It's kind of subjective because with a resistance band, it's not like a dumbbell where the weight is the same the whole time. It's variable with a band. Remember to keep your core engaged. 2 or 3 more. Last one. Oh, that was a lot of effort for me anyway. Okay. We've got about 2 more minutes before we're gonna go down to the ground. We'll do a little core and some stretching to finish up. So we're gonna do one more exercise standing. We're gonna do a 1-arm row. So this is for your lats, okay? You might feel it in your bicep a little bit. So we are going to really shorten it up. So you stand on one side and really shorten it, okay? And you use your own body as basically your bench. Okay, so support yourself, and then we row. If it's too easy, make it shorter. So think about pulling elbow back towards your hip. So it's back and down, basically. Think about squeezing shoulder blades together. Got 4 or 5 more. Okay, let's switch. Other arm. Get your foundation set first, engage your core, get your long spine. Okay, so no round backs, all right? Long spine. Okay, and here we go. Elbow towards your hip. Not the top of your hip, okay? Not the hip bone in front. Think about like down towards the hip joint, like that low. Let's do like 4 more. 3, 2, 1. Okay, we're gonna go down to the floor. So all the way down. Now we started some of our deep core activation with our dead bugs. We did our leg taps. So we're gonna do dead bugs today. So on your back, find your neutral spine. So neutral pelvis, and then push your lower back and ribs down. Then we're gonna lift one leg and then lift the other leg. So this should be work right here. If your knees are too far over your belly, it won't be work. Okay? Work right here. Then arms come up. Opposite arm and leg extended. So let's do left leg, right arm. And then we bring it back up and switch. Keep those lower ribs really pushing down. Try and use your breath too if it works for you. Just pairing breath with movement means that you're going to utilize your breath correctly usually. Oh, let's do one more each side. And relax. All right, let's do some stretching. So heel toe, feet out really wide. We've done these before. Arms out and windshield wiper knees side to side. All right, we're gonna bring feet in together. Grab your left knee, pull it to your chest, and straighten out the right leg on the floor. And then we're gonna pull your knee across your body. So right hand on left knee, left arm goes out to the side. Try and keep your shoulders down. So if your left shoulder pops up, just don't rotate as far. All right, let's rotate back to the center, switch knees, right knee to chest, left leg straight. And then rotate over, right arm out. Okay, come back to the center. We're going to flip over onto hands and knees. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips for a few cat-cows. So round up through the back, drop the head and the tailbone, and then reverse it, head and tailbone lift, drop the belly. Let's do a few more like that. Okay, tuck toes under, and as long as your knees are okay with this, we're gonna sit back on our heels. And this might be really uncomfortable, but our big toe joints need mobility, and they get ignored a lot. So if it's okay, continue to sit back, but maybe rock a little bit side to side so that you're rocking over your toes. Okay, I'm going to come back to hands and knees, take one leg forward, and then just gently shift your weight forward. You can always lift the knee out, the back knee off the ground if it bothers that back knee. And let's switch legs. Forward and lean. And then release. All right, you guys are all done. Thanks for joining today.